Hey, FreightWaves fans and friends, happy Monday, happy President's Day. We are coming live to you right now talking about what is happening right now in market conditions. And you know, I got a couple of market experts here, Chief Meteorologist Nick Austin and the Sultan of Sonar, Zac Strickland, here to talk to us. They're like kids on Christmas Day with the new Sonar features, and they are wanting to show off a little bit. So first of all, Nick, hi, how you doing?
Hey, Chad.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Thank
and
you.
President's Day, yeah.
Look at what is happening here.
Yes.
There are cameras all over the United States of America.
And they can give us ground truth on where the snow is falling and sticking to the roads.
That's awesome.
Which includes part of the Great Lakes in the Northeast. Boston's even getting some snow, and they haven't had a lot this winter. So we see all that blue on the radar right there.
I'm tired of rain here in Chattanooga, but you can't stop the rain. But here is snow. What else we got going on, man?
Yeah, the rain's been moving out, but it's going to be coming back. We're likely going to see flooding across parts of the Southeast off and on through the rest of the week after today.
Can't wait.
More snow out west in the Rockies too. So, at least for the next couple of days, nothing really major. But there will be some heavy snow out there. They're used to that. But yeah, great new feature on Sonar, the live cameras.
Yeah, shall we demo?
Real time what's happening. So let's take a look at one. Right around southern Michigan. And it's snowing across portions of southern Michigan. We're looking at that earlier across portions of I-94, which goes through southern Michigan. And it's going to keep coming down for most of the day. So here's one on I-96, another part of Michigan as well.
Look at that, snowy.
So,
and it's a very recent snap picture.
You can get virtually just live snapshots
of
what's happening with the weather.
How often are they updating?
Pretty regularly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're
like every few minutes?
Yeah, every few minutes.
Okay, every 15 minutes.
So they're near real time.
Near real time.
We'll say that.
Okay.
But that's a really neat feature. And of course, we've had the radar on there for a while, but another really cool feature is road conditions. And
that's how you turn it on, weather
forecast
layer
road
settings.
Conditions, that's right. So whether the roads are going to be wet or slushy or icy or just snowy in certain areas.
Okay, so that's what this is indicating.
That's right. That's what all these different colors along the highways on the map are indicating. And as they're changing through time in the future with the forecast.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
For instance, you know, where it's blue across parts of the south, it's just wet from rain, but where you see it turning to pink here and there, that means temperatures are getting cold enough where it's freezing rain and turning icy. Where it's just snowy in some areas, you'll see it in this shade of red right here. So, so it's a really neat feature because looking at the precipitation is important and where it's actually snowing or where there might be freezing rain or sleet.
Yeah.
Because the roads will be icy. But even though the radar might be showing freezing rain, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is icing up on the roads because the road itself might actually be above freezing, the temperature of the road.
Or wet,
this
or
shows
dry.
you, this shows you where it could be actually icing over.
Possible closures
over the next several
as well.
Hours. Yeah, possible road closures too, where it gets bad enough. So that's a really awesome new feature. Yeah.
Thanks.
So we're excited about it.
Okay, we are excited about it. You're like a kid in a candy store, a kid on Christmas Day. So thanks for that. That's awesome. I can't wait to play around with it too. Okay, without further ado, let us bring in resident Sultan of Sonar, Zac Strickland. Hello, Zac. Tell us about some of your new toys.
So we got a big upgrade to the watch list. Specifically the tree map. Oh, you remember this? This is one of my favorites to use to show market share, and it changes throughout the week, the days.
Looking like a great Monday right now, though, Zac.
Look at that. If you guys recall, it is literally organized by the largest to the smallest, going from top left to bottom right.
Albuquerque, real tiny.
You can see that we've shrunk the names so they actually fit in there. You can see it real clearly which markets are, but. This has been a standard pattern over the last few weeks. This gray kind of low changes. You see these right here. This is your daily percentage change in market share value, outbound tender market share value, if you will. And right down here is the absolute value of the outbound tender market share.
So I love this.
Ontario, now you don't have to.
Sense.
Yeah, you don't have to like go searching for it anymore. You can just see it and as it's represented. So Ontario, California, 4.6% of the total outbound tender volumes in the country right now, and then You look all around here, there's very little changes going on. And then Lakeland right here standing out right in the middle with that big green.
Lakeland, that hub kind of in the middle of Florida. And yeah, it's and the colors help reflect sort of what's going on, right? So zero-ish, we're remaining in the gray.
Yeah, you see these
or if
0.2%.
it's slightly positive.
Yeah, 0.2%, negative
Slight
0.7.
negative,
Not
we're
great.
going chartreuse.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this 3.8 really stands out to me because that's a big backhaul market sitting down there. And
Usually, right?
yeah, it's typically one where we see a lot more inbound loads versus outbound. Anybody that
Of Lakeland?
has been in the industry for any period of time knows that nobody likes to go into Lakeland, Florida, or I guess the Orlando, Tampa markets. That's what Lakeland is.
But okay, well, you know it a lot more than I, but don't they like it kind of, it's like in between Miami and Atlanta?
No,
it's not because of that?
No, they don't. The carriers do not like going into Florida, period, because there's just not, there's simply not a lot of production coming out of Florida. So they, you know, a lot of it goes in, except for some produce. We do get some produce surges every now and again, and that happens a little bit later in the year.
So what is going on in Lakeland?
Well, we're not sure, but they certainly are showing up with a big push of volume. And the market is becoming less of a backhaul right now, which may not sound great. It's kind of like less bad for a carrier to go into. But if you do have the opportunity to go into Florida right now, it's definitely not as bad as it's been in the past.
And I wonder what's going on in like the San Antonios, the Phoenixes, the Rochesters, that, you know, small markets or not, they're really looking springtime green.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
and this is exactly the kind of, like, I mean, these are smaller markets over here, so they're not going to have the big impact to the national capacity like these are over here are. Basically, the further right you go on this map, these guys are generally going to have these isolated pockets of outbound volume. So if you are a carrier, you're going to be paying attention to maybe some opportunities. Brokers for sure will be looking to these kind of big percentage jumps in these smaller markets because they can have these, you know, in a dead kind of flat market in general.
Yeah.
These are the markets that are going to be the most important and have the most opportunity to, you know, make some money or keep your truck moving.
Look how down Pittsburgh is.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's down, but the overall market is flat, and it's, I mean, with Pittsburgh dropping significantly, that's a sign that you probably don't want to go into Pittsburgh right now. But you still need to look at your tender rejection index. But
yes,
and a little thing that I know about Pittsburgh right now is the tender rejection index is actually elevated. So even though volume is down,
and again, this is the market share that we are looking at.
Yeah, this is market share. This is volume.
This is cool, man. What a neat new feature. I see why you're wanting to show off. What else you got for us?
So we've added a new feature to the chart, and not to sound too promo-y, but this right here is a seasonality chart. And a lot of people in the financial markets are going to be familiar with this already. And all it is basically layering each year of data over the top of, you know, one another. So you can clearly see year-over-year changes. So this white line right here is the most recent trailing 12 months. The green line is the previous trailing 12 months. So you see it goes from February to February back through here on your axis down here. Okay. And then here's all the definitions. So what you're going to see, and this is the DAT Van Freight Rate Index, national. So these are
it's without accessorials or fuel, right?
No accessorials, no fuel. It's no team transits or anything like that.
This is how much the rates cost.
Yes, this is the base rate charges. And again, this was developed for freight futures coming up here in another month or so. But kind of the thing that I found super interesting, considering that we're talking about right now. Yeah. You see the white line, which is the current trailing 12 months, well, it's been way above.
Sure enough.
Until this last fall, where they kind of fell in line with the previous year, even though you notice that 2017 was a pretty significant, that was the start of this whole crazy mess.
Yes, the green are super elevated for unusual reasons. Right.
The hurricanes and ELDs and all sorts of crazy stuff happening in the fall of 2017. And then you see now that we've kind of fallen out of line with the that's actually 2018 at this point right here. Yes. But this winter, we've really kind of come back down. We haven't all the way married up with what we were in the 2016, 15 years, but it's still like moving towards that right now. We do have a little bit of an uptick right now, so we haven't fallen all the way back down. And it's important to note that there's a lot of contracts that went into place that are going to keep these rates a little bit more elevated. So it's going to be a little bit stickier coming out of that.
So in a lot of ways, the market is more in balance right now, right? We're trending towards some balance, not necessarily just a shipper's paradise, as some may presume. And as it's coming into balance, though, still carriers remaining optimistic, still anticipating, an optimistic 2019, although really nobody knows. But that's an interesting point, that one of the reasons it's for at least for sure that it's a little elevated, contract rates still in effect from the capacity crunch.
Yeah, contract rates have been, they're going to keep these up because this right here has driven all these kind of longer running contracts, and shippers are not going to be as willing to bail out of that. This is fresh on their mind, or it should be fresh on their mind, because the more that they kind of bail out of their contract obligations and lower their volume commitments to the carriers, the less willing the carriers are going to be when this happens again to kind of honor their obligations to stay within their contracts to them. So there's a big give and take there. I mean, when the market has such giant fluctuations like this,
such as last year.
No. I mean, I think it's a big last year for sure. It's kind of, if anybody wants to take advantage of the short-term situation, it's going to have long-term implications on both ends. So the shippers, if they so choose to bail out of their volume commitments to the carriers right now, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth.
You've pulled up seasonality trends, which this is FreightWaves Now. What are the reasons that why look at seasonality? What are some of your reasons behind how it can actually give us a look at what is happening right now?
Yeah. So anytime that you're analyzing what's going on right now, you need to look at what's happened a year ago, 2 years ago, just to see is this abnormal? Is it standard procedure? You can see right here in 2016, 17, they kind of fell in line. Each year should have its own kind of identity, but they still have these normal kind of bumps. Like every single year has this hump in the middle of June, July, as the market kind of destabilizes a little bit, and then right around the holidays every year. But this gap right here, year over year, that's important. Like, oh man, if a company's looking at this and they think, you know what, guys, we're having a great year. Everything we're doing is exactly right. It's what we want to see. But then the rest of the market is having the exact same thing. They shouldn't get so excited and just claim like, well, we figured it all out. No, the rest of the market has turned like to the same point. So they have to be able to manage themselves against kind of the market itself. You can see here, if you get too excited about doing well in the middle of this last year, know that everybody else is doing well as well.
Can
I say well one more time?
Well, it's just as well. So that's showing off some of our fancy colors and this cool index. Thank you, Zach, for bringing some insights. Yes, seasonality with a little bit of context, but it's what's happening right now in 2019 with rates averaging at about 143 as opposed to last year at 160. So interesting stuff, and we are bringing it to you each and every day here on FreightWaves Now. So check us out on FreightWaves.com, and we come out at 4 o'clock. That's my favorite time of the day. Check us out on Twitter. Share the love. We have lots to share. And thanks for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow on Tuesday. So in the meantime, don't worry, be happy.